Are you on the mountaintop right now? Or are you in the valley? Or are you somewhere in between the mountaintop and the valley? I think a good way to answer that question, each of us in our own minds, would be to imagine ourselves eating ice cream. I'll explain. You're imagining ice cream. Is that ice cream on a plate next to a slice of cake? You might be on the mountaintop. You might be at a party. That's the only time we eat ice cream on a plate next to cake. And sometimes you get stuck with a fork and you have to eat the ice cream with a fork, and that's always awkward, right? But you're on a mountaintop because you might be at a party, a birthday party, or some other fun event. Now, maybe your ice cream is in a bowl and you have a spoon. You're somewhere in between. You might be having a normal day. You might be fine, except better than fine because you are also eating ice cream. So that's good. But imagine you have that spoon, but there's no bowl. It's just you and the ice cream in the carton. You might be in the valley. You might be alone on your couch eating ice cream straight out of the carton. And you might be having a bad day, or maybe not. This is going over your head, is that what you're saying? Oh, that's the best. Oh, okay. Your mileage may vary. But in general, you might be having a bad day. Get a bowl out, for goodness sake. Now, I think it's fair to say that we, as a parish, are on the mountaintop right now. We are celebrating the baptism of Kylie Smith, and you have friends and family here with you, and we have white on the walls because that's the color of baptism. This is a mountaintop experience. And we're going to have cake to, symbolize that, although I don't think there's going to be ice cream along with it, but that's okay. Cake and pancakes, because this is also Shrove Sunday. I won't get into that, but it's a special Sunday, the final Sunday before Lent begins, and so we're going to flip some pancakes and have all kinds of good food in addition to that cake afterwards. And everybody's invited, of course. This is a mountaintop experience. And for the occasion, we actually got to read about a couple of mountaintop experiences in our readings this morning. We read about Moses on top of Mount Sinai. And what a glorious experience. I'm going to get into that word in a minute. A glorious experience it was for him, and it was so glorious that he's there for 40 days. I don't know any rock climber or mountain climber that gets to the peak and says, I'm going to hang out here for a month and a half. They all take their pictures, maybe eat something and then head back down. 40 days. Something special is happening up there. But then we see Moses showing up again in the gospel reading, where Jesus takes his kind of top three disciples, Peter, James, and John, with him up to a high mountain. And Moses shows up there, and he's like, hey, I get the high mountain thing. I've been there. I've spent a lot of time on top of mountains, so I'm going to come hang out with you guys. And it says that Elijah's there too, which we have stories of Elijah being on top of a mountain and having experiences with God on top of mountains. And it says that Jesus and Moses and Elijah are talking to each other. But the gospel doesn't bother to tell us what they actually said to each other. I think that'd be helpful. What did they say? No, instead we get what Peter says. We don't get this wow, three of the biggest names in spiritual history are having a conversation. No, we get Peter running his mouth. And the gospel admits that Peter doesn't know what he's talking about. He's just, I can get that a little bit. The mouth is moving and the brain is still, right? And he is so amazed by this experience. He's like, what? Jesus is brighter than the sun, and we have Moses and we have Elijah. Why would I want to be anywhere else? I'm going to build us a few huts up here, and we can just live here. We can stay here forever where the glory is. And maybe Peter is imagining what's down there waiting for them when they descend again. Maybe he's thinking about how not everybody believes what Jesus is doing. Not everybody trusts in this. Some people are very acrimonious. Some people are very critical of Jesus. And I'm aware that some people want to kill him, and I have to defend him, or maybe they're going to want to kill me too down there. But up here, Everything's beautiful. Everything's perfect. Let's just stay here. And because we have a lot of wonderful things to get to, I'm not going to belabor this point. But I do want to come back to that word glory. Peter is experiencing the glory of Jesus in ways that he never could have imagined, and seeing his spiritual heroes, Moses and Elijah, all here. This is the peak of glory, pun intended. But there's a misunderstanding of the word glory that we get ourselves into sometimes when we have these mountaintop experiences and we say, this was glorious. This was wonderful. This was a moment where I could forget all my problems and just focus on the magnificent thing that God is doing in my life right now. But my dad will be happy. My parents are here. My dad will be happy to hear me use a Hebrew word, because that word glory, now this, of course, the gospel is written in Greek, but it's all underpinned by their Hebraic mindset. They're thinking in Hebrew, and actually the characters are probably speaking in Hebrew. And when they talk about glory, they're thinking of kavod. That's the Hebrew word for glory. And it's not a floating up and away. It's not a helium balloon that we have to catch and try to keep with us somehow. Like, let me just get a taste of the glory, right? Kavod literally means weightiness, heaviness, but not in the sense of a burden, like we're being weighed down, but like a cloak, like a mantle, like something substantial that we get to wear, or some people use a weighted blanket when they go to sleep. It's something that covers you and comforts you, and that you know is there, it's fully present. And that God's glory, God's kavod, is that experience of being fully indwelled with, fully present with, that you can't ignore it. Weightiness, kavod, glory. And because glory moves down, any glory you experience at the mountaintop is not going to stay there. And if you choose to hang out on that summit, the glory is going to move on down and leave you behind. And that's something that I want us to remember. I'm kind of speaking into Kylie's life a little bit here as well, that you have these beautiful moments where everybody's got their cameras out and we're having cake afterwards and we're all celebrating. And it's all light. But it's light for a purpose. It's light that has a sequel. That we're going to carry that with us into the difficulties. And my blessing for you, Kylie, and for all of us is that the beauty that happens here does not have to stay here. It does not have to stay on February 15th, 2026. It doesn't have to stay in the nave of St. Michael's. It goes with you if you choose to take it. So as we make the most of this mountaintop experience that we have together, as we soak up the light of life, the light of our Messiah, the light of our God here in this place, and we contemplate what's waiting at the bottom of the mountain for us, I hope we don't hesitate, like Peter did, and say, no, I just want to live here. But to say, I'm ready now. I'm ready to go down that mountain. Because I know that leaving this place is not a matter of leaving the glory behind, but of finding the opportunities to put that glory to work. Amen.